stop scrolling. Just give me a couple of minutes so I can give you a little bit of a background on myself, because I think I've got something valuable to say. See, I've really noticed how after being on this app really intensely for the last couple of months, that there is a big desire for 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds to get on here, because it's mainly young people that are on this platform, and to talk about their lives and talk about things that could inspire them and things that could give them some guidance on a possible way to live and what the future might look like. So I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes here on this sort of the macro view of my life, and then we'll see where that goes. But essentially, I'm a 57-year-old man living in Charleston, South Carolina. Grew up in a middle class type of world, went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, graduated there in 1990, and then almost immediately went into the investment world with a couple of large major investment banks, and ended up having a very successful career there. And then I retired from that when I was 40 years old. And then for a couple more years after that, I managed my own investments, started another company after building a coaching consulting practice that spanned from Belgium all the way to California. So I was dealing with a lot of time zones. And then built that company. We had some great success. The company was basically a firm designed at the time to work with struggling venture capital-backed firms that were essentially on a death spiral. So we would come in, we would apply our coaching work that I'd learned through previous years of a lot of work in the coaching world while at the investment banks, and turned them around, brought them public, and did stuff like that. And that went really well. And after a couple of years, I actually ended up selling that to my partner, and then maintained that business, more of the coaching world, for just a couple more years until I fully retired from that to get fully involved in really the digital asset space and Bitcoin and the like. So I'm not going to talk a lot about that right now, but that's a big part of my story. So essentially, though, what I want to get on here and talk about is, ways that we can all come together as a community and learn from each other. And that's what I'm doing from you. I'm seeing a lot from the youth, and I'm having a lot of back and forth and like DMs and helping people out. But, what I want to do is I essentially want to talk about the world as I see it. I've got a very weird perspective. I say weird because it's very out of the mainstream. As you can see in my bio, I have something called Zen Bitch Slaps. I have a very, very fond orientation towards things like Zen, non-duality, and out of the mainstream type of spiritual structures. I have a lot to say about things like anxiety, undistinguished anxiety, which I think a lot of people have right now. Money, how to make money, helping folks with money. That's a big part of my life right now. I do that pro bono pretty much all day, every day. How to think about relationships. A lot of my work was around relationships at a very sort of a high stakes, high risk environment in the corporate world, but that can also translate to other areas. And just a bunch of different things, some hard hitting stuff, but not all of it's that way. And, my intent here is just to explore this world. I've never, ever, ever considered being on social media like this. It's truly a new frontier for me. So I have a lot of excitement with that. I have a lot of really interest in like what's being said out in this sphere. I love the idea that you could get on this and create a business, and that you can, create your own brand and not be sort of, a victim to the matrix in some ways. Because I think in the coming years, it's going to get absolutely insane. And if you're not prepared mentally, then it's going to be a rough ride. So my intent here is to engage with as many people as possible. For the long run. Like I said, I've never done anything like that. And I'm fortunately in a place where I can spend a lot of time and kind of go all in on this. So I hope that you'll, follow me or whatever. I'm not doing this to talk to nobody. I'm doing it to build something. And I think I have a lot to say, and I am excited to say it. And to go off into this next phase of my life, which is more of a service type of time. So thank you so much if you've watched this far. I'm 5 or 6 minutes into this thing, which I know is a long time in this world of scrolling, but thank you so much. And yeah, I hope you follow along with me.